quick introduction because we don't have a lot of time. Everybody seems to get cut short by the 5 minutes, so really quickly to recap, my name is Jason Sachs. I'm a senior here at Montclair State. I really do enjoy going to school here. It's a lot of fun. The classes are great. For instance, this public speaking course I really wanted to sign up for, much like I'm sure everybody else in here did, because it's a course requirement. So before I begin, the topic I'm about to speak about, I believe a lot of people here have a general background knowledge of what I'm about to say. So just really quickly, I'll bring up a quick quiz just to, test the knowledge of everybody in here, and we'll get into the bulk of the presentation. So first question is, who invented the incandescent light bulb? Was it Einstein, Franklin, Thomas Edison, or Alexander Graham Bell? Anybody, quick answer?
C.
C? Yeah, very good. So it was Thomas Edison. Obviously, that's his most famous invention. Everybody knows him for the light bulb. Ben Franklin discovered the electricity. Thomas Edison harnessed it and turned it into a more practical form in the light bulb. Another question. Oh, and great answer. So the next question is, who invented the phonograph? So the choices are Isaac Newton, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Edison, and Alexander Graham Bell. Any guesses at this one?
Bell.
No, not Bell.
Edison.
Oh, wow, look at that. Again, it's Edison. So the interesting story about the phonograph is I find it to be the most ironic invention that Edison actually had, because Edison was legally deaf. While he wasn't 100% deaf, he was just about as hard of hearing as they come. Not only was he deaf, he actually liked it. He liked being deaf, having a disorder. And this quote here exemplifies it. So he says, "It made it easier for me to concentrate on my experiments." So the only perk of being deaf is not just to be able to ignore your nagging girlfriend, for instance, but also because he was able to focus more on his experiments that he would perform in his basement of his parents' house. He enjoyed his experiments so much, I actually made a quick drawing, a quick illustration, a detailed drawing of Edison at work being happy. There it is right there. Very accurate, right? What's that, Edison? You suck at drawing. Not cool, Edison. Not cool. So another question, who founded the General Electric Company? I think we can all start seeing the pattern here. Franklin, Einstein, Edison, or Bell? Anybody? Wild guess? Right, C. So again, it was Edison. That's actually I'm surprised that that's one of the lesser known facts, is that Thomas Edison founded this Fortune 500 company that still exists today. And he certainly left an imprint on the company, as, they're quite successful. This quote from a poster that hangs in the Edison National Historic Site in West Orange. This is why GE has been successful, is because they embraced this quote of, "I never quit until I get what I'm after. Negative results are just what I'm after. They're just as valuable to me as positive results." So GE, in turn, not only does the typical appliances that we're aware of and air conditioning systems, they also branched out into healthcare, aviation, and financial investment advising services. And finally, one last one. I'm sure you all get this answer. Which major town in New Jersey is Thomas Edison from? New Brunswick, Menlo Park, Edison, Paramus. Anybody got a wild guess? It actually is Menlo Park. I was hoping to get you all on that. So most people have this notion that he was from Edison, New Jersey, but that's just ludicrous. You can't be from the town that they named after you. So he was actually born in Menlo Park. His nickname was actually the Wizard of Menlo Park, so quite the title. Yeah, love the cute penguin there. He loves New Jersey. So as you can tell, my presentation is about Thomas Edison, who you can see depicted right there in his early adulthood. The main point I wanted to get across in this presentation is not so much to drill an academic lesson into all of you, but just give you some fun facts about Edison and what inspired him, a short biography basically, from childhood to adulthood to the legacy of inventions that he left behind. So a common comparison people make with Edison is with that of Albert Einstein. Both geniuses, both contributed greatly to academia, research, inventions. But the most striking and kind of bizarre similarity between them is that they were both, Edison was a pretty poor student, to say the least. This, of course, did not make his mother very happy, and as a result, he was such a poor student that back in the mid-1800s, when teachers were still allowed to discipline the children physically, the teacher actually whacked Edison in the ear for getting an answer wrong, which sort of contributed to his deafness, so people believe. So she pulled her son out of school, gave him his first ever textbook. It also happened to be a science textbook. And this was a major point in Edison's life to inspire him to go on to do much greater things. And by the age of 10, he built his own science lab. Pretty nice dream to have right there, is your own science lab by the age of 10. Needless to say, some experiments turned out better than others. As for the homeschooling, Edison really credits his mother for giving him a lot of his characteristic makeups. In Martin Malosi's book, Thomas Edison, The Modernization of America, he says, "My mother was the making of me. She was so true, so sure of me, and I felt I had one to live for, someone I must not disappoint." His siblings, he was the youngest of 7 children, and his parents and siblings would constantly go down in the basement and mess with his chemicals, so he would actually list all of his chemicals as poison, just so that they wouldn't touch it. His dad wasn't a big fan of him staying in the basement all the time. He wanted his son to get out, so he would give him a couple dollars, say, "Son, go out, buy some candy, buy a book." And so Edison would do that. He would go out, purchase a book for himself, but then he would spend the rest of his money on more chemicals. When he was 14 years old, he actually saved a 3-year-old kid from a runaway train named Jimmy Mackenzie. Not a lot of people know that. So this was significant because Jimmy Mackenzie's father, worked for Western Union and taught Edison how to use the telegraph, which is the device that you do Morse code, the dots and dashes. And so here's an example of a telegraph in case, we obviously don't use them anymore. And so this enabled Edison to get his first ever job, which was at Western Union. Yes, that Western Union, fastest way to send money. And this was a nice job for him because he actually worked the night shifts, so he did experiments in his office at nighttime when nobody else was around, so he could just take out his chemicals. Interesting story about that is that his office was directly above his boss's main office, and so he was experimenting with a battery and some sulfuric acid, spilled some on the floor. It burned through the floor and onto his boss's desk, and needless to say, the next day he was fired. So, if we have any communications experts here, Professor, maybe you could translate this Morse code for us? No? Communications major. That's a form of communication. That's actually how Edison proposed to his first ever girlfriend. It says, "Will you marry me?" To which, of course, she replied back in Morse code, dash dot dash dash dot 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 dot. She said yes. So just a quick picture. This was his first wife, Mary Stilwell. He actually married her on Christmas. Not the best date to marry somebody because not only does it make the day a little less special for your anniversary, almost nobody showed up to the wedding because they were all home celebrating Christmas. Shortly after she passed away, he remarried Mina Miller. There's a picture of her there. And finally, here's Edison's first ever invention, which is electronic vote recorder. They used it at Congress and the Senate. It was a total flop. It was such a slow device, they realized it was quicker to take votes by just saying, all in favor, yay, all opposed, nay, and this invention never got off the ground. And he's also, what a lot of people don't know, created the first mechanical tattoo machine. So all those strange barbed wires and tribal tattoos that people get, you can have Edison to thank for that. Alright, finally here, a list of inventions that he also did. So the light bulb, we also said, the voting machine, tattoo artist machine. He created the first electronic generator, the phonograph, and the x-ray machine. One final question. Out of all these inventions here, which one do you think he regrets the most? Any guesses? It was actually the X-ray machine. And as we all know, too much X-ray, it has carcinogenic effects. He actually had a lab partner, there's a picture of him right there, Clarence Dolly, who played around with the X-ray so much that he developed cancer in both of his hands and passed away. But to wrap everything up, the one final quote I wanted to give of Edison was that he stated that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So to bring everything together, what I want to convey is just put good effort out into the world. If you do the best you can, you work hard, much like karma says, good things will come back to you, and I'm sure you'll have a very, very bright future. Thank you.